guys, it's Wilson.
And I'm Kelly, and we're on the Mewve.
And if you take a look in our background back here, this is not a green screen. We are coming to you from the Tetons of Wyoming here at Grand Teton National Park. What a beautiful place it is. Sit back and enjoy the video. So we've been wanting to come back to the Tetons for quite some time, and I think this is probably Kelly's favorite national park. She really enjoys coming here, and in the past we've only been able to do like a day.
Just to drive through, just to see it pretty much.
Yeah, and maybe like a half a day, and that's just not enough for the Tetons. So this time we booked 6 nights.
Yep.
And that way we'd have plenty of time to do some hikes and other activities that we wanted to do, also without like trying to kill ourselves getting everything done at one time.
Just to be able to enjoy the views while we're here.
Absolutely. So we drove in from Yellowstone. We came from the Old Faithful side of Yellowstone, and it's just a beautiful drive in. You see some mountains as you come in, but you can't really see the Tetons until you get pretty much to Jackson Lake. And we decided to stay at Colter Bay Campground RV Park, actually. And the RV park is, I think it's $83 a night
for a pull through.
Full hookups. Yeah, and that was kind of a splurge for us on this trip. We usually do not like to pay that kind of money for a campsite, but central location was great. And after being out boondocking for 4 or 5 days, that was kind of nice with the kids. You know, boondocking is awesome. We enjoy that, but with the kids we kind of have to limit our time boondocking before we go and find a laundromat, some
full hookups,
you know, some good showers, whatever. But the drive-in is beautiful, and I'll tell you, when we pulled into the RV park and got set up, you could see the mountains, but then you couldn't see them real clear. And then our kids said, can we get on our bikes and ride down to the lake? And we said, yeah, because after being in the car for a couple of hours, they need that. Rode down, they came back, and you could just see it on their faces.
They were so excited. They came back and like, Mom, Dad, the mountains are just like right there. You know, they were so excited.
Yeah,
said,
the Tetons are just so beautiful. You know, you see it in the background.
But it just doesn't do it justice to do a picture or a video. To be here amongst the vastness, the height is amazing.
And you drive for miles and miles and miles, and you see them, and you're like, they're right there, but they're not. They're so far away, and you know, you have to get out and enjoy them.
We really enjoyed the Colter Bay. I guess the downside of Colter Bay, what we figured out kind of is that it's really busy areas. It's probably the busiest in the park for people coming in, using the marina, using the store. There's the campground, there's
the showers, the laundromat,
a big store, you know. So it is a busy area. The campground's full, obviously, and you've got to book way in advance. That was the other thing. We got lucky on this one. We were going to boondock, but we got lucky and found 6 nights in a row. And so we kind of splurged and went ahead and went in the park and in the busy area, and the kids have loved it. They've been riding their bikes the whole time, so that part is a plus, that they feel comfortable doing that.
Absolutely. Anything that's reservable though here in the Tetons, you really have to reserve it about a year out. If you don't, you know, you're only going to luck into it if it's a cancellation, and we were able to luck into it because of some cancellations because of what's going on during the summer. You do have other options. There's a campground at Colter Bay, which is first come, first serve. And every morning we've been up, there's been a line by 7 o'clock in the morning with people waiting. You also have Gravant, which is a little further out.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. Yeah, it's worth it, and it's about halfway between Jackson and the park itself. I think, you know, where most of the central areas are that you would want to be. And I would definitely stay at Gravant
Yeah.
if we came back out here. But it's first come, first serve, and I think usually they're going to have sites available,
Yeah.
even into the late afternoon.
It's all the campgrounds are dry camping besides the Colter Bay
Yes.
RV resort. And the Gravant one, they do allow generators from 8 to 10, I believe.
In certain areas, there's certain loops.
Areas, yeah.
Some loops you can, and some loops they have for tents or very small campers. So you just kind of have to find what you need.
But it's a good place too to camp. So
Absolutely.
We would definitely come back and do that.
Lots of wildlife too.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we are at the Tetons now, and it's kind of a tough shot right here with the sun in our background back here. It's setting in the west, but nonetheless, a beautiful sight. And our first stop here around the Tetons. Any commentary from the crew? Cody, you're always a man of words. No? Okay. So this is Maddie's attempt at a photography shoot. She has become professional here. And I think she has the zoom all the way out. So she's probably zooming in on his nose hairs. So they're funny. Yeah, that's kind of a close-up view of Cody's nose. So we want to share a few of the drives and viewpoints that we saw while we were out here, and that are very worthwhile. On the first day we came into the park, after we got set up, we just couldn't resist. We're a little tired, but we wanted to go see some stuff. So that afternoon we got out, we drove down 191, and then we turned onto the road that takes you towards Jenny Lake. And off of that road to the left, if you're going, I guess, southwest, is Signal Mountain. Signal Mountain has a nice road. I know it says narrow, curvy road. It really is not.
Bad, yeah.
No, there's a moose pond there. There is
the view to Jackson Lake.
Yeah, the view to Jackson Lake. There's 2 viewpoints. I will tell you, be prepared for mosquitoes.
Yes, oh my goodness.
They swarmed us. They were terrible. We were swatting. We had to go back to the truck and get spray before we went to the last viewpoint.
Right, because the first point we got out and didn't know it was going to be that bad, and sprayed our bug spray before we got out on the next one.
Yes, for sure. There are some grizzly bears in that area, so just be aware. And you can see a bear anywhere, anytime.
Yeah.
We were just down at Jenny Lake.
At the visitor center.
At the visitor center, in the parking lot, had walked down to the lake to take a few photos early in the morning. And we're coming back up, and I glanced over and I almost couldn't believe my eyes.
Yeah.
There was a black bear on the path.
Yeah.
On the sidewalk.
The bathrooms, right?
Yeah, right behind the bathrooms.
So you had to have come from the parking lot from across the street because it was right there.
Yeah. And so you just never know where a bear is going to be.
Yeah.
And you just want to be aware. They're beautiful. They're majestic.
It's neat to see them. That one was really close. So.
That one was almost too close for comfort, but
he didn't pay us any attention.
Nope,
didn't see us. No.
Totally ignored us.
Yeah, on a mission for food. But so just be aware. I think you can see all kinds of wildlife on Signal Mountain. We didn't see any that night, but I feel like you could probably see some. We looked around and felt like there should be something nearby.
Yes.
Okay, day 2, I think we went out and did a little ride as well. We got up early because there's a famous place that you can see the reflections in the water of the Tetons, and that is Schwabacher's Landing. Say that a few times fast. It's only about a mile little trail, flat trail by the Snake River, but it is one of the famous scenes that you see photographed of the Tetons. And we got out and enjoyed it, and we got to see before the wind picked up. You got to get out before the wind picks up because the water will be pretty clear and flat for you to see the reflection of the Tetons in the water. The kids really liked that. It was a short hike, or trail, I guess I should say. It wasn't really a hike.
It was less than a quarter of a mile of a walk. It's not really a hike.
I think it's a 1 mile round trip if you go all the way down to the end. But it's absolutely beautiful, so that's definitely a stop that you need to take.
Yeah.
And the
There's
second
a
thing we need to
beaver
do.
dam and a beaver lake
Oh yeah.
in that area, so
Mhm.
you're likely to see some beavers.
Yeah.
You may even see a moose in that area. It looks
Mhm.
like a good location to see a
So it's
moose.
very beautiful.
Yeah.
And then we also drove to Mormon Row. That's pretty famous as well. It's got the most famous barn, most photographed barn in the world, I believe I read. I was excited about going to that spot as a photographer because it has the Tetons in the back. It has a great historical piece as well. You want to tell them a little bit about that?
Mormon Row was just an area where a group of Mormon settlers moved in the late 1800s. Really about the 1890s is when they came this way. They settled, created
Little
a
community
little
there.
community, yeah, and they built a church and they began to farm the valley. They began to farm hay and some root vegetables.
You can still see kind of the, look like what irrigation
Yeah,
would
you
have
can see
been.
the irrigation canals, and they were all hand dug, which
Mhm.
is pretty cool. I
Yeah.
mean, for that, back in the day, that was very difficult.
Mhm.
They came in under the Homestead Act, which means they had to clear the fields themselves and prove that they were planting something like grain.
Mhm.
And when you clear the fields out here, you have to remove rocks.
Yeah.
So that was a great effort for humans to do, and they left their mark. And today we have these barns. The
They're
National
still
Park
standing.
Service really hasn't done anything with them to restore
Yeah.
or maintain them. They're in decent shape. I do hope that the National Park Service will spend a little bit of money though
Yeah.
and keep that up
It's
because
beautiful.
it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just iconic.
Yeah.
We saw some photographers out there.
Yeah.
They were out there for a long
Yeah,
time.
trying to get that shot, you know.
Perfect
Yeah.
shot, And so it is hard to get a good shot without people in
Yeah.
the background.
Yeah. Maybe
But
go early.
yeah, go early.
Yeah. But
Random times,
but everybody
whatever.
was real respectful of, getting that shot. So
Mhm.
everybody took their turn, was patient. There wasn't that many people out there, but if you want that iconic shot, you're gonna have to be patient and wait your turn. And then usually everybody's ready to do that as well for you.
Oh
So
yeah.
we enjoy our time there. It's a gravel road going in and out. You can drive along
Part
there.
of it,
Part
yeah.
of it, yeah.
Mhm.
Part of the Forest Service Road goes on out if you want to drive a little bit more. But it's off of Highway 191,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
And it's a beautiful place. So that's definitely a stop you need to make.
So it's in between Moose Junction
Mhm.
and Jackson, and then you turn onto Antelope Flats Road. It's
Mhm.
about a mile down the road, and there's two barns. There's kind of two sets of locations. If you turn left, you'll see the first barn. It has a fence around it.
I don't think that's the famous one.
That one's not as picturesque,
Yeah.
but then you go to the right on the road, and there's a little parking lot. There's a vault toilet down there.
Yeah.
That's more of your iconic shot
Yeah.
with the barn. There's no fence, and it's just a gorgeous view.
Yeah. So make that one of your stops for sure.
Absolutely.